What's popping, people? So, Bandokay appears in court today charged with gun possession. It's actually been confirmed that is what is being charged with, having a gun. This is a sad reality for a young man in the streets. As most of us will know, his father, Mark Duggan, was shot and killed by police, allegedly for having a gun on him, which is still debated to this day. After looking at the forensic evidence, it's very strange that the gun was found meters away from where Mark was, although he was shot literally 2 to 5 seconds after he stepped out of the taxi. Certain tabloids or publications may have a lot to say about this case regarding Bandokay, as he is Mark Duggan's son. But to be honest with you, it's a double-edged sword for these lot, because how could we let this happen as a nation, as a city, as a community, and as a police force? Let's be real. What intervention was done with Bando by anybody to try and keep him off this path? What has been done? Realistically, this is a case of negligence by so many people, from friends to police to social workers and much more. More should have been done to keep a young boy who lost his father to the police, whose father's case was debated publicly. We should all have known that this would create a deep impact on his life and on his psyche. Personally, I feel sorry for Bandokay and his family. He might not be innocent, but he isn't the only person to be blamed in this unfortunate scenario. You have to think about these things, guys. When the police have just killed a young man's father, what has been done to keep him on the straight and narrow? What's been done to keep him in education? What's been done to try and put him in the workforce? Or has he been left to the streets? Has he been left to fend for himself? Has he been left around the same environment that sadly his father couldn't transcend? What's happened? Like, who's responsible for all of this? Let's be real. Who is actually responsible? Because when you're fearing for your life, are you responsible for your actions in the way that in which you act? If a man points a gun at you when you walk out, are you responsible for your reactions? I don't know. It's up for debate. But anyway, like I said, I do feel sorry for his family. But what makes him feel like he has to actually carry a gun in the first place? I mean, let's address that issue as well. Young men feeling as if they have to carry a knife or a gun to cope with their surroundings or to not become a victim themselves. It's a sad scenario for everyone involved. So when you're sitting there looking at this case, and you might be from a total different walk of life where you don't understand why this sort of stuff happens, you need to think for yourself. If you're in a situation where you're in danger 24/7, are you going to try and prepare yourself for the danger, or are you just going to lock yourself indoors and just sit around it all day playing video games or whatever? And let's be real, you can't live life like that. Like, that's just how it is. But yeah, like I said, this needs to be addressed, really. The issue that made him feel like he actually had to carry a gun needs to be addressed, because yeah, you've got ops and you've got this and that, but at the end of the day, the biggest op of Bandokay is clearly the police. I mean, let's be real. That's his biggest op. They're the people who took his father from him. And yeah, he might have dead friends and stuff like that, but the reality is you can't actually get back on certain ops. Like, you might think this road life is cool and that, but when it comes down to it, if your dad's serving a life sentence, you can't ride out on the prison officers. If your dad's dead because of the police, you can't ride out on the police. What, like, the life, you're not in control of your life. Like I said in previous video, and this is something that I'm going to keep iterating, I'm going to keep on repeating until people start to realize, yo, this life is fucked. It's absolutely messed up. It's not good. Like, it's absolutely not good. This young man is losing potentially 13 years of his life, and he's already lost a dad to the streets. He's already lost friends, family members. He's got a friend who's in jail for murder, and he's not even 30 years old. Let's be real. He's not even 30, and he's been through more than most people in this country could imagine. Like, most of you can't imagine going through this sort of stuff. So let's not be judgy. Let's not judge him. Let's think about why this happened. Let's actually think about why this happened. And another thing that can maybe make you actually try and understand somewhat why these sorts of things happen. Why would he be carrying a gun? Why? Well, there was a video that recently surfaced of a young man who was in a chicken shop with his girlfriend. Now, you can see he's in his chicken shop, minding his own business, and then two people clock who he is, and they go in the chicken shop, and one of them brandishes a knife. So in response, he picks up a chair and he brandishes the knife himself, and he's protecting himself, his girlfriend, in the chicken shop, while these other two lads are figuring out a way whether they're going to come in and attack or not. And he's fighting them off. And luckily, touch wood, nobody got stabbed in that altercation. Well, it doesn't seem like anybody got stabbed in that altercation. We are yet to find out. But luckily, that lad survived. He survived that day. He may not have survived if he didn't have a knife on him. Now, Does that mean that it's okay to carry a knife? No, it's just not. It's not okay. But in that scenario, what can you say? That kid, if he didn't have a knife on him that day, he'd probably be dead. And God knows whether his girlfriend would have got stabbed as well or whatever else would have happened. But if two people pull out a knife, no one gets stabbed. I'm much more grateful for that than one person being stabbed or two people being stabbed or someone being stabbed multiple times or anything like that. And everyone should be. So as much as people can judge these scenarios and be like, oh my days, these youths are got knives and they're backing out knives, shanking each other, or oh my days, Bandokay's a rapper and he's got a gun. You don't know the scenarios these lot are going through, man. You literally do not know. The only thing that you should be focused on is how to keep yourself out of scenarios like that. It's all well and good looking at other people and judging them and commenting and saying this is your opinion, this is that opinion, but you don't have a clue what it's like to live in anybody else's shoes. Let's just be real. Nobody does. But yeah, the reason that I brought up the lad in the chicken shop and the reason why it's significant is because he may not be alive if he didn't have his own knife with him and was willing to engage in what looked like a sword fight. Of course, none of us want knives on the streets, but in a scenario where a young man saved himself and protected his girlfriend, it raises several debates about carrying weapons and whether it should be allowed or not. And to be honest with you, it's a tough one. It made it even more tough. I was avidly, staunchly not against people carrying knives. Like I have always been an advocate against that since I was younger and I stepped out of a certain road life myself. From that day, seeing other people carrying knives has been crazy to me. Like it's been something that I've wanted to work against. I've wanted to help youths come out of them scenarios. So if there is, on the off chance, there is one you listening to this who thinks, oh, you know what, I'm going through this and that, and this geezer talking, it's easy for him to say, well, you know what, message me, bro. Message me. If you're going through a lot of shit and you don't know how to transcend your environment, you don't know how to get into work, you don't know how to build a CV, you don't know how to apply for jobs, you don't know how to go to a temporary work agency, blood, comment on this and just say, I need help. I guarantee you I will be in contact with you as soon as possible and I'll help you as much as possible. And this is something that I'm going to put on the end of pretty much every video that I put out going forward, because I am here to try and help people stay away from this path, this life, because it is absolutely crazy. You can look at Bandokay and think, yeah, he's a kid who had a gun on him and it's well deserved that he's gone to jail, and that's your opinion, cool. But guess what? For me personally, and for most people coming from that environment, it's a sad scenario to see a young man who's potentially facing 13 years of jail when he's already got potential and a music career on the side. He's got friends that are in music. He's got a friend who also had crazy potential who's on a life sentence. He's got a father who's been taken from him, dead friends. This is not a scenario for people to look at and just be like, oh yeah, he shouldn't have been carrying a gun. Like I said, you have no clue what people are going through and why people are carrying weapons and stuff like that, and whether that saved his life. We don't know. We have no clue. We don't know whether him being in jail may save his life or be the ending of his life. Hopefully he doesn't have to be put on some wing where there's loads of ops and all this other shit. Hopefully he can have a peaceful sentence, come out, repent, you know what I mean? And just get back to being a musician, because that's what he is. Clearly, he's a very incredibly talented musician. So it's very sad to see people going through these scenarios. But we're yet to see exactly what his sentence is. But I will be updating you guys as soon as possible. Please stay tuned, subscribe, like, and share if possible. Make sure that you get involved in all of my content, because trust me, I am here to help. Like, I may just be reporting on what's going on. I might just be saying, oh, this and this is what's happened, and then giving you a little bit of game afterwards. But at the same time, if I put out 600 videos in the next couple months, which I'm planning to do a few videos a day. If I put out 600 videos in the next few months and one person hits me up and says, yo, listen, I don't want to be on road. I want to be a productive member of society. I want to get a job. I want to build a CV. I want to do this and do that. And they contact me and I help them. Everything is worth it. Trust me. It's all worth it. And this is sort of stuff that I've done in real life. I've got friends that I can point to and be like, yo, I've actually helped my man get a job. I've helped my man write his CV. I've helped my man go and get in, even if it's just going and getting universal credit. I've helped people go and do that. So, blood, I am here to help. So talking about these things, it may be a negative thing that's happened. A young black man going to jail, 13 years, potentially. It's sad. It's sad for everyone involved. But hopefully we can stop some more people from going down that same route. That's what the end goal is. Hopefully, if I get to the point where I've got 500 subscribers, 1,000, 10,000, and I can start to help people here, there, and everywhere, that's what I'm about, mate. That is exactly what I'm about. So like I said, please like, share, subscribe, get involved. Thank you for watching.